go for some more, hopefully, coming tomorrow. Kings over vs DAMWON, best of one for game number 6 and all the marbles.
Yeah, it all comes down to this. Let's jump onto the Rift now. But the team's ready to go. Glad that nobody's using Hillbilly Gragas. Nobody's breaking the rule.
Funny that Naehyun basically revealed that he was
yeah.
he was changing his forms, but he found the superior laugh going through the different champions, so we can approve of that. Nuclear and BeryL on lane domination is the hope of a Varus lane, but it's against a Lux lane, so there's no guarantees about it. It is TusiN, so unsealed spellbook, no big surprise. And again, when Tom Kent's the enemy support, you don't even need to go Guardian. Would have been the safest choice here to deal with some, say, long-range damage from a Varus, but he's going spellbook, as TusiN is wont to do.
Saw 3 interesting pings. It was red, Cuzz, and then up near blue. I wonder if that's going to be the pathing here from Cuzz. Maybe he just revealed a little bit of a spoiler. We'll have to look and see if he actually does go along that path.
One of our struggles is, how do we rate Canyon's Karthus? Because the Karthus game was obviously super domination of SK Telecom T1. But that was Clid dying 3 times, some nice team pathing. But that was more DAMWON Gaming shutting down Clid rather than, wow, look how good his skill accuracy is on the Karthus. So, going to be an interesting thing to return to. Big Reddit thread about yesterday's Karthus game from Peanut, where the team couldn't find an avenue to use the Requiem for 35 minutes, and it's a very tough thing to talk about, because at the end of the day, it's not necessarily incorrect not to Karthus ult if there's not a kill to be there. However, when we've seen Karthus jungle best used in the LCK so far, it's use the map tools you have to coordinate an engagement where Karthus can pop either early or late to change it. For example, Cuzz loves to open fights with it, and his allies know exactly what he's setting up for and are in position to collapse on that with, say, a reset comp, something like the Pyke and the Aatrox. So it's always situational what Karthus ult can provide. It's not just see hero, kill hero, like when the first time you read the ability.
Yeah. Absolutely. So curious to see how Canyon is going to do, and we really need to look into this top lane.
And then again, zooming out also, it's can DAMWON set up scenarios where Requiem has a really good use, which is definitely looking for those hard engages where whether Karthus on the screen or not, he's contributing. We feel the same way about kind of GP ult in that case that we do with the Karthus.
And we did see that a little bit in even the replays before, or like the highlights before we came into today from the last time.
Oh,
we did
Scuttle just
Scuttle's
guided him hard.
Slippery guy, you know?
Yeah, that's right. You auto it down. Every time you see Karthus last hit anything, it's always very amusing. Oh, wow. Whoa, that was a late cancel.
Look at that presence to just know. And now Canyon in a lot of trouble, but a good flash to get away, but still first blood. As Nuguri is going to sweep his way to the victory. Cuzz took a lot of damage on the backside, too. To the Karthus.
Another difference, right? We saw the 0 stacks of the Dark Harvest. As Nuguri's thinking about this one.
Oh, the wait! Well, he's going to flash and get the kill. And now I'm not sure if you say that's worth. I mean, he does trade flash for flash, but it's a kill going both ways.
I assume Gragas didn't have body slam, because you can body slam interrupt the hook shot there. So that was interesting. That was a very, very intriguing interaction. Nuguri gets a big back. He goes back and gets Sheen and Longsword from it. But yeah, that happened.
I really want to see the replay of that one before I really delve too deep onto this, as Canyon immediately after that play looking for a play down on the bottom side, but looks like they're calling him off.
And now Nuguri is actually really powerful to take hook. Look at these hook shot trades. We call them trades. They're not really trades.
Rascal is actually trying to fight up against this now.
Gotta be careful. Against it's more damage stats than you would expect from a Camille this early. It's a Q-Max from Camille. It's actually Not an ability we saw Max the last time we had Camille top lane. It was a lot of hook shot, but that was largely melee versus range matchup. I wonder if Riot's getting a very cool replay getting together here. We got the cool one earlier in the bot lane during the Wombo Fest.
The double replay for one slow-mo and then the double slow-mo with the side angle. That's what it's all about.
Do notice that already more than a minion wave advantage for Deft and TusiN in the bot lane.
Oh, he hit the lightning, but...
So
hooray, it's Tom King.
CS-wise here, there's some to lap up, but this is already a pretty significant advantage that Lux is largely kind of lifting them to, and those couple of turret plates, we always plug and play from Lux. And Sivir accuracy, making this lane no fun for Nuclear and BeryL.
Now the jungler's going to run into each other here. As Cask is going to be good. No dodge this time around. Still just a one-on-one, but here comes Naehyun. Canyon with no flash is in so much danger. Now trying to get on in here with the Requiem, calling for that extra damage. Waited until the blast plant was triggered.
And
then
overkilled
went
him.
in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was awesome to see. All of the layways missing from Canyon early, but doesn't matter. Get in there, brawl, get your Dark Harvest stacks. So much more active on the map. And even when you're looking at pathing, if we could do a heat map difference from where Peanut was going and where Canyon is going. Canyon's from the C school of thought, Jin Air's jungler, who played Karthus like he was playing Kindred.
That's an interesting one there, for sure, but double outplay from the two solo laners of DAMWON. Really gotta like it.
Watch the layways here. It's pretty funny, actually, by the way. Comes in and sidestep. You would think Cuzz would be on point with dodging layways, and he definitely was in this one. Only the one after his death was going to register, but then it's just really nice. When do you press the blast plant, right? You kind of have to wait out the E, and then you're just going to get killed anyway, and Cuzz is just finding the enemy, and he seems very angry that he's not the one that got to play Karthus.
You know, maybe he did actually want to, and now he's trying to punish him as much as possible. He's doing a decent job of getting the scuttles at least, but Karthus, one of the best farmers in the jungle, you can see that. He's going to be having a grand old time, even though he's died twice.
A lot of build flexibility as well. You start Talisman, that's your mana regen potion for the jungle, and then, yeah, Sorcerer's Shoes, CDR for the ult. No need to mainline into something like Runic Echo. It'll come eventually. Clear and BeryL. After this, we're going to see that CS advantage. It's about 16, so we're talking about kind of 2.5 waves already there. And Nuguri getting turret plates much harder unless Rascal's heavily forced out of lane.
For now, Rascal seems pretty fine. Not going to be forced out, but another trade up here that looks like it was actually interrupted by Rascal. Nicely done.
There's definitely a lot of trades you can take with Aatrox in the Camille matchup, rather than the Fiora, which we've talked about, the short leash that Aatrox is on. DAMWON, no pressure, but you don't pick Karthus to play around bot lane necessarily, and you pick Tom Kenjvaris to get no help. So Canyon playing mostly top side, pops down a ward, expected probably from the King's Zone side, but I don't believe spotted.
Yeah, not spotted. You see how Rascal just paths down and says, well, let's take a look-see here. I didn't see too much, but was in position just in case, and then eventually returns to another lane.
Do you spy anything with your little eye, Valdez, that interests you in this particular game? We don't have to play the full game. You don't have to tell me what letter it starts with.
No.
Understandable. Nice lane ward here. Going to catch Canyon. It's an old one, too.
Thought you meant the items. I was...
down for whatever. Down for whatever. Turret plates, so what I'm spotting directly on the screen there is the 2 that you always assume with Lux, and Cuzz actually playing bot side smart. Bot side objectives are pretty free for King's Zone Dragon Axe because Karthus just has no ability to really impact that area.
Straight gonna go over to the way of King's Zone as well. ShowMaker trying to come on in here and see what he can do. Not really gonna be able to do much on the backside. Spot it going down, and everybody gets over the wall. They're just fine.
We've had some fun top lane matchups on this outplay potential. My mind actually was cast back to Smeb in some of his days on the Aurelia versus the Jax, where it's all about kind of waiting out cooldowns, not just using the hook shot instantly for gap close, but sitting on the wall and waiting to see what you can bait out, is similar mind games in the Camille versus Aatrox matchup. All about the mechanics. Sivir goes back with 113 CS in 10 minutes. Good job, Deft. The Alpaca's been farming. Essence Reaver already done, and we talked about those free bot side objectives. I love the change here. So they read the map well, and now they say, let's get ourselves a Rift Herald as well.
Everybody joining on in for this one. 5 on whatever you got, basically. As the root there, a little bit short from Naehyun.
DAMWON Gaming going to be very, very late on this. Nuclear's way behind.
Yeah, no way they can get in range of this one. But now BeryL kind of just giving his life away. Can he get away from this one? Still has cleanse and flash. He is moving forward. Flashes at exactly the last moment. As Rascal says, you're not getting away that easy. He flashes on in for that kill. Now we're looking for Nuguri here, but he is on the Camille.
Even Predator mobility, not enough to catch up to the Camille. DAMWON Gaming were too slow in asking that critical question. I'm not talking about game number 2, I'm talking about game number 3. The what are we fighting for? When there just was never going to be a true 5v5 around Rift Herald was up there. And the reason why I love this swap isn't necessarily, yay, we got Rift Herald. It's, let's try and end this laning phase around the Camille.
Yeah.
The Camille was picked this game to split. This is not a Taric Sona Camille where you can frontline as Camille, build full damage, and kill people. The moment you go in there, yes, you force someone in, but then Naehyun ults, or Rascal, or Gragas, or Sivir. There's a lot of AoE on the side of Kingzone to try to take you down, so very, very tricky to pull off any grouping Camille plays. So attacking her lane, kind of like how you attack a Shen when you see Shen top metas. Good choice by Kingzone Dragon X.
And it's also fluid, just right after the play they made there from the Rift Heralds. They're getting a lot of small pieces here and there. Not necessarily, you know, blowing the game wide open, but they've been able to open up a nice 1,000 gold lead here.
Feels very approach with care.
Yeah.
And I think you should always handle a Karthus comp with care, because there's just so many different ways a Karthus can get there, right? It also has the ability to stack those Dark Harvest, and in kind of the meta we've had today with almost kill him in an action in multiple games, you don't want to give free Dark Harvest stacks over to the Karthus, let alone kills and ability power towards more damage. So handling DAMWON with care, getting everything to slide in, no huge lead on side push that they have to kind of like wrestle back by inch like they did in game number 2. Keeping this predictable does suit Kingzone Dragon X.
Now they're trying to make things a little bit more interesting as Cuzz is hanging around, but just doing exactly that. Not much else, but he is going to come on in here, just hang nearby, as now Canyon is going to spot them coming on in with his own ward, and will be able to ward them away.
Yeah, able to force Cuzz away. Cuzz has to full commit, otherwise he's just going to get hit by something. Such as Karthus. Nuclear and BeryL finally finding some ability to push up. Definitely too late for any turret plays to follow it. Oh, that wasn't a good look.
Okay, and now we're going for the exhaust. The Devour is there, but just trying to save Nuclear here. BeryL has that gray health. He's going to canter away. And surprisingly fast-paced.
Ghosted away, actually, to get away that time. That was Kingzone hitting everything, and DAMWON misplaying. Nice little play there from Kingzone, and when we came back to our original analysis, Nuguri might actually, no, doesn't actually have the chain's arm there. It was DAMWON Gaming's goal of prioritize the 1v1 in top and deprioritize the duo. We haven't necessarily felt kind of bot duo, bot victory, you know, better bot lane wins, as people are calling in solo queue so much recently. But in trades like that, you kind of remember that Deft, TusiN versus Nuclear and BeryL are important nameplates to be read at.
Those aren't the only nameplates that we've had to examine, as we already saw what happened in Game 2 between Nuguri and Rascal. So, Nuguri trying to hold it together for his team and make that happen. Just unfortunate that they kind of threw it there at the end of Game 2, but they'll get another chance here.
Man, if you're waiting in a brush for Kingzone, you might say, "Oh, pretty squishy comp, I feel good," but The brush is actually not the kind of like super dark place that like you can threaten people from. When you have Lucian Singularity, Lux ult, you have Naehyun's W to throw a clone in there. There's actually a lot of different ways for Kingzone to cheat vision leads from DAMWON Gaming, and DAMWON want to pick people if possible. And there's just so many kind of inbuilt kit tools here that allow Kingzone to scout out.
It's been funny to watch in this small lull in the action. Just the two junglers try to path for whatever chance they really can. We saw Cuzz come down here, hang around, not really do it. And now Canyon's down there hanging around, seeing what he can do. But because they see Cuzz, we're just going to trade turrets here, as Canyon will push away Rascal.
I think these map rotations is where you can actually see kind of a clear delineation of power between Kingzone and DAMWON. They're doing them all first, and they're going for more.
Ooh, not quite able to land that one, and the cask is also going to go wide. Requiem coming out here, but they're looking for 2 kills, and they will get it. Rotation coming in from Nuguri, but he's all alone against 5. But Kingzone in an awkward spot in between the turrets. In goes ShowMaker doing his thing on the Akali, but does he have the burst damage? He does have the Shroud, and with Nuguri here as well, they're going to take him down 2v5. This is incredible. They're going to get at least 4 of them here on the backside. We also got TusiN still on the run, as Canyon is looking for the kill under the turret.
The ShowMaker we've been dreaming of seeing for so long. His level of outplay at the start there was what allowed Nuguri to chase in. Wants the kill, flashes into a binding. They're not going to get the 5th one, but holy moly. ShowMaker made something literally out of nothing. If you're going to name yourself ShowMaker, these are sort of magic tricks that make it far from an ironic title. Gonna watch the replay here. They don't kill the enemy as fast as they want to, and yet 2 kills come up, and you assume this is over, right? Nuguri dives in. You're like, okay, cool story, Nuguri. And then watch ShowMaker. You say 2v5. This is basically 1v5. He uses E and then repositions to get the first kill, slides through onto Naehyun. People are tanking turrets.
Saves his Shroud too, for the one moment he really needed it.
This was exquisite stuff from DAMWON Gaming's mid laner, and Nuguri got to also appreciate some kills as well. Let's listen in here and see if TusiN has any good points there.
He's like, hey, everybody get out of my way.
Hey, you get to talk mess when you make a play like that. Everyone stands up to attention and says, yeah, fair enough.
I mean, that is just, that's pushing the champion to its very limits, right? You don't get to see that very often. So, happy to have casted that one live. That's always a lot of fun, but let's see if he can keep his cool now. As the enemy team is angry, he's going to dodge that one with ease, but the cast is going to hit him, but it doesn't matter. He's out of dodge.
All right, let's retire this strategy of ganking Akali. Watch this.
Oh, boy. And now they're just putting on a show. ShowMaker's 3-0-3. And DAMWON, all of a sudden, the tables have flipped. I feel like not just in the gold or anything like that, but just in the way that this game has been playing and the morale. As DAMWON are having fun with this one.
They're jumping on ShowMaker's back. That's exactly what they should do, because the enemy naturally trying to work out some things is Nuguri. We're going pretty deep here, boy.
All right, well, with the TP coming in, looks like that will be enough to ward them away, but you could see that if the TP didn't happen, that was probably going to be a dead Naehyun.
Tail between their legs? No, they're the opposite of that. They've turned this around so quickly, and suddenly feels like DAMWON Gaming were never even behind Valdez. They're so aggressive in how they're trying to get advantages here. Nuguri going to be forced out of the brush, but the moment you see Nuguri kind of gleefully turret diving into turrets, you know that ShowMaker, Superman has an S, you know, but the ShowMaker S here was pretty insane as well.
I love the dodge with the first part of the ult, and then just says, all right, if you really want to dive me with my team coming,
This
go
is
right
like,
ahead.
this is some global taunt stuff. Like, they were definitely working out some issues. Trying to.
It's like my Montes moment, is what he was saying, and now we get the zoom in here on ShowMaker.
Look,
He's finally making a show.
Someone is already scouring YouTube for other ShowMaker moments to join on to the ones he had in this game.
I mean, for sure. He's had some moments, but if he continues on this level, this might just be his best game. We'll have to wait and see.
The scariest thing about ShowMaker is we know where this leads. It leads with him playing his famous Katarina. He was a legit one-trick Katarina player into the professional game and had to grow his champion pool from there. So
if this were a game 1, I think there would be a high chance we see it in game 2.
We've been building up for a long time. Was played in the Kesper Cup. He went away and said, okay, the champion's not that powerful. I'm going to stop now. But after games like this, the little voice in your head gets way louder.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's feeling good for sure. We'll see if Kingzone can do much about this, as we were kind of in that lull state, but then it was a good play by Kingzone, I feel, to go for that dive. It was really well read, but then I think nobody really could have expected the Akali to do what she did.
Agreed. Absolutely, Kingzone did the right thing. You could say that Cuzz, should have got the kill faster because he missed his cask, but even then, couldn't have imagined that happening.
Yeah.
Just because Nuguri had already ulted and went out, and then ShowMaker's first thought, I don't know how many Akali mains, if you're out there, tell us to shut up by any means, would have seen that one coming. Going full on all in.
Yeah.
Was something. And now we're all kind of a bit dumbfounded. I'm sure Kingzone are too, because they're like, oh, this game was sliding. Because remember what we were saying. We were saying, all right, trepidation, you're against the Karthus jungle with, the ability to get Dark Harvest stacks step by step by step. Kingzone were following the steps. It turns out the recipe didn't include get punked by the enemy Akali. And now it's like, wait, do we still add salt? Like, what do we do here? Like, are these ingredients still valid?
I forgot how to cook. What do I do?
Well, you try and again, keep it simple. Keep it simple, silly is what we say to teams in this case. They still have Sivir, 2 items, soon working on a Zeolite. They still have a lot of strong teamfight options. We already mentioned it's a split push Camille. This is going to be so hard to teamfight on. So with all of that considered, recreating a fight like that, probably too much to ask from ShowMaker. So finding ways back in to force a 5v5 should be Kingzone's focus.
I think Nuguri took that blue.
It's possible. I actually didn't think so.
Deft doesn't have the blue. He was the one going for it. Now Nuguri has a blue in the top lane, so that's all I could imagine here. Nice wall of pain for the slow. Does a nice amount of poke damage, too, as we're setting up for the Infernal Drake.
ShowMaker on a flank. Let's see Rascal.
Cuzz immediately backs off of that one.
We always talk about how fast Gragas is and how funny that looks. And a bit of poke damage on the barrel. When he contorts himself from some of the barrel rolls, pretty impressive as well.
Yeah. The Spinoramas.
Spinneroonie is down. The Infernal Drake dies instantly.
It's a pretty fed Camille with a Karthus in the jungle, so you're going to take down single target objectives extremely fast.
But again, remember, Camille goes back to splitting. DAMWON Gaming still trying to play multiple lanes, and Kingzone have a Sivir ult. Now, the force behind that is kind of only the Gragas, but Gragas is going to be super duper fast. This is going to be very much a push and pull, with the Camille trying to play multiple lanes and not just be taken down. The Baron threat for DAMWON Gaming, if they do send too many members bot, is insanely big. Karthus may not be fed, but once you get your items right, the Q cooldown is so low that him and Varus can do a lot of damage there. So you got to be careful here for Kingzone. We already saw DAMWON kind of embarrassingly trip on execution with a big lead in game number 2. There is no big lead in game number 3. In fact, DAMWON have this 3,000 gold lead. Kingzone half a Zeal item away from Sivir being able to be that hot knife through butter. Which team is actually better placed to win the series? Up for debate.
Feeling the DAMWON energy right now is on the hunt coming through from Deft. Saw an opportunity to get on top of BeryL as he's just too fast to land those chains of corruption. You're really not going to be able to do much, but just a bit of chunking to BeryL, who's going to immediately get to near full health.
My belief is that Kingzone's comp is easier to execute, so I give them the slight edge. So I'm happy that we're not in agreement, and the game is right up there. Nuguri goes back bot side. He's got lifesteal, so Rascal's building for team fighting, and Nuguri's building for splitting. So that also helps him in the side lane. But walk up the wrong spot. Kingzone have the Baron control already. DAMWON Gaming anytime a slowing item comes out, Canyon's way out of the jungle. No guarantees about this game, that's for sure.
Yeah, and you did mention the one thing before about the difference between Fiora and Camille and the split push. How it's much harder to dive the turrets, even with the help of the Requiem.
Agreed.
And we see that it's actually Nuguri who wants to start the team fight here, trying to come from behind. A ShowMaker trying to go 1v5 again, and Rascal in an awkward spot here on the right side is going to have to get out through the back door.
Ultra deep teleport from Nuguri, a more shallow one from Aatrox, both of them fully disengage. That probably suits Nuguri, right? Because he can go straight back to split pushing, and Aatrox will have to group to get a lot of value out of his kit. DAMWON Gaming bringing a small minion wave to mid. There's a lot of damage needed for this turret, and just not enough minions.
Nuguri spooked there by the fake Sivir, it looks like, but he was just getting out as his team was backing away. And it's just been small objectives for quite a while, as the tension is building after the last couple of fights where ShowMaker just pranked them a couple of times. We haven't had any big plays after that. We do have another Infernal coming up here. But can Kingzone really give 2 away? That will be a huge burden for them as we move to the late game.
Can they spread their vision control, which has been staunchly Baron focused, into bot side control to get that contest though, Valdez? Because if it's the sum of the lane pressure, Nuguri pushes up, he's got the 1v1 champion, they've got minion wave control around the Infernal at minimum. It's kind of on Kingzone to put that doubt into their minds. The easiest way to do that is if you even suspect that Nuguri might be soloing that Drake, group with Rascal, and try to take that Baron.
You can tell that Nuguri was thinking about it there. He's just waiting, seeing if Rascal would go a little bit too far. Would he use one too many dashes, stuff like that, looking for an opening, but instead just going to push it out and go for the back. Curious to see what he buys here. Okay, that's a couple of big items. More damage on the cards here for this split-pushing Camille.
Has a stopwatch, tries some team fighting. Does feel inevitable there will be some sort of a team fight. ShowMaker spotted. Look at his fight, level 15. Only level 16 in the game currently is Nuguri. Understandable.
And down he goes to his one spot on the map.
And this is what will happen, right? Aatrox going up and saying, let's start the Baron. No TP on Camille.
Yeah.
And now the fateful moment happens. Remember, double unsealed spell, but this time BeryL has the smite before TusiN.
Oh, but they're going to get the binding here. Can they burst him down? Yes, they can, as BeryL not able to get into the gray health. And now we're going to return to it here for V5. And Kingzone actually do it as Nuguri has joined up, looking for the flank here.
TusiN just changed to smite. They do have double smite.
Oh, nice binding actually to get Nuguri there on the backside. They catch Canyon as well. The flash on in, and that's going to be the kill over to Cuzz here. And well, now we're going in for it, but Rascal is going to be done after that one. Nuguri, perfect stopwatch, but can he get out of this one? Perfect timing on the ultimate. He's able to dodge it, and now ShowMaker and Nuguri are going to get into that back line, and there's nothing that Kingzone can do about it. They're all going to be running away with their tails between their legs, as we all know that Nuguri likes to get on top of this Lux. The second time he's been in that scenario, but now he's going to get the kill. Naehyun also going to be denied here, as he will eventually go down in this fight that will be DAMWON favored.
DAMWON Gaming keep posing the mechanics test to their enemies, and they keep winning it, Valdez. They were able to outplay them again, even though it seems set up for a Kingzone victory. Remember, they got the Sivir team fight comp. We're going to watch the replay of how this all happened. We watch as it starts. Remember, 5v4, double smite on Kingzone. They turn on Canyon, he dies. And you just assume it's all over, because even the Requiem doesn't hit. The Aatrox, he lives through it. Deft is healthy, you think, okay, this is going to be fine. Aatrox goes down, that's the start of it all. They come down, another thing, because he immunes the damage with the ultimate there, the Hextech ultimatum from Nuguri to immune it. Akali dives in, kills Sivir, and that's just enough for DAMWON Gaming to do it again.
ShowMaker's IQ there is also really, okay, well, no time for this. As Infernal Drake comes in, we're going to save Canyon, though. He is going to live, and here comes Nuguri from behind as the two solo laners are doing it once again. And Kingzone is left with nothing but frustration in this series, as man, ShowMaker and Nuguri are really putting on a show tonight.
They absolutely are. The solo laners needed to step up. They have, with Baron buff at 2.5 minutes. 30-second death time is 40 seconds on Rascal. DAMWON Gaming, they start their march. It's on King Zone. Just 2 of their members to stop it.
It really has been a show. That's the way it has felt here. And he has made the show alongside a Nuguri. I just loved how ShowMaker dove in the second he knew that Nuguri would be focused right after the Nico ultimate. It's just a great idea, really good understanding of the game. And now I don't think there's anything that King Zone can do to stop this. We have the respawns. Could DAMWON get punked again is the real question here. As the Requiem is coming in, it doesn't feel like it here in Game 3 as see you later, the last 2 members, and see you later Nexus. DAMWON Gaming put on a show, and they win this one 2-1.